Hey, what's up, everybody? PDF44 coming at you with another video. So, call me naive, but I feel like I've been ahead of this, just like I've been ahead of a lot of other stuff. The video that I intend to make here, as I usually say when I start off these topics, it's already been said. Kyrie Irving is putting a strain on his team, his teammates, his co-stars. He's putting a strain on those guys by taking the stance that he is against being forthcoming about his status, being vaccinated or what have you. And I word it that way because we don't really know what's going on, because out of the horse's mouth, he's telling us that he doesn't want us to know this particular information. I don't care to know this particular information necessarily as a consumer, but if I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan, he's one of the best players in the game, one of the most important pieces to our championship caliber situation. And because of the mandates, he's not going to be able to play any home games. He won't be able to play the one game that we play on the road in Oakland, or rather San Francisco, with the Warriors, which is a very, very, very serious contender, obviously, an impossible finals preview. And he won't be playing any of the games against the Knicks. That's 4 games there, home and away, for which he won't be playing against a team that they may be seeing in the playoffs. I don't believe that trading Kyrie Irving is a good decision if he's playing 82 games. If you expect him to give it a go for the full season, because injuries and things of that nature, you can't guarantee health. But if we had a healthy Kyrie fully vaxxed, like we have a healthy Andrew Wiggins fully vaxxed, I think this story goes away just as quickly as Wiggins' story went away. He took the shot a couple days ago, nothing to talk about anymore. Kyrie's the only remaining player in these restricted areas that have yet to get vaxxed. Now, there have been some players who haven't gotten vaxxed, but they're not in markets that require them to be vaccinated at this time. So they'll have trouble when they play the Knicks. They'll have trouble in the Nets, and they have trouble when they go to San Francisco. Other than that, they're going to play all the games that they have available to them. I think that's a lot easier to digest than literally missing half the games and all of them being home games. Kyrie's situation, as I said, man, I'm going to put a strain on your brothers. KD came out today, or rather yesterday, and answered a few questions, and he said, call me naive, which is why I said that. Call me naive, but I think Kyrie is, he's going to be available for us. He didn't say it in those words, but like, call me naive, but I think we're going to be just fine. I think the idea that he had to put the words call me naive in there makes it seem as if he's starting to get a bit annoyed with answering questions about this, and he is starting to feel the pushback from supporting Kyrie through this, as it pertains to trying to tell everybody that this is not a bad situation, trying to tell the front office that they shouldn't trade him. It's starting to take a toll on KD, and he's hinting at that to Kyrie through the media. And I said this a couple weeks ago. Harden and KD and the other teammates aren't going to tell Kyrie anything at all, because they know, first of all, Kyrie's their guy. They believe in him, and they know what type of person he is. But second of all, they also understand that Kyrie's a very different mind, and that you say the wrong thing, you might end up his enemy. You say the wrong thing and he may take it the wrong way. You say the wrong thing and he may not see you as someone who could support him. The issue with trading him is what his demand was. If you trade him, he's going to retire. Couple that with the idea that if you trade him, he's not going to play in any New York games. He's not going to play the Warrior game. So if you trade him to the West, they have that issue. And if you trade him in the East, they have it as well. I don't know what his value is, you guys. I don't know. Like, when I look at Ben Simmons, even if I'm the Philadelphia 76ers and all that they got going on, if I'm Philly, I'm trying to take back somebody who's going to help me win a championship. If Kyrie Irving is not reliable enough to play in some games that we need him to play in because he just refuses to do what everybody else is in these restricted areas is willing to do, that could be a potential problem. Now, granted, if you trade Kyrie to a place where the mandates aren't that bad, then you're not talking about it anymore. So maybe that is the case. Maybe you do trade him to a Philly. Maybe you do trade him somewhere like that, where they only miss him for, say, a confirmed amount of maybe 3 games or 4 games, as opposed to what he's going to miss, which is 42 at this point. maybe that changes the dynamic. I don't know, but Kyrie's point of view is not understood. So all I can do is speculate and say what everybody else is saying, that he doesn't trust the vaccine because of his Native American roots and some of the things that he believes and understands about some of the history that's taken place. Same understandings that a lot of us have, but we don't have what he has on the line. And you can believe what you believe in, but are you going to be able to see it through? Is that the right decision for you? Is it the hill to die on, so to speak? I don't know. I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. Because at the end of the day, what we're really talking about is personal safety. And I think these guys put their own personal safety on the line every time they go out there on the court. Every time they let somebody cut them. Every time they go under the knife. Every time they take any type of shot that needs to be taken before a surgery or what have you. Go to the dentist, you take a shot. Now, this doesn't mean that Kyrie Irving ain't one of those people who refuses everything that he hasn't had vetted through his people or what have you. Maybe he's one of those individuals that don't take everything. I'm not ruling that out. But again, we're talking about personal safety. Versus what exactly? Teammates' ability to accomplish their goals. The money that comes your way and the things that you can do with that money. There's a lot of stuff to consider if you're Kyrie Irving. And that's what I would bring to the table to him if I were close to him. I'd say, well, yeah, you're bringing up the idea of whatever your concerns are in regards to this thing. And I raise you how much harm not securing that amount of money is for the various things that you are invested in, the various things that you donate to. There's a lot of good that can be done with that $42 million, Kyrie, and you not securing that money. Even though, and look, it's not necessarily a thing about whether or not Kyrie can afford to let that amount of money go. Obviously, that's his business. But what I'm saying is, for someone who's involved in things that he's involved in, that $42 million can do a whole lot of good. I think a good way to make a statement in regards to this, if you're Kyrie Irving, how you psych yourself out to do what you need to do, you're going to lose $42 million, right? Or it's going to cost you some crazy amount. I think it's 42. I think I'm getting that mixed up with the games. But he's going to miss a lot of money for missing half the games. Whatever that amount may be, it doesn't have to be 42. Who knows what it is? Whatever that amount is, it can definitely be going to other things. So take that money and donate it somewhere. Don't take the bag, but play the game and take the shot. Now, I know that's like, well, no, I don't want to take the shot. Duh. But my thing is, you're in a lose-lose situation, and the stance that you're taking is going to push you away from people that you don't want to be pushed away from, push you out of situations you don't want to be pushed out of, and really, you're not in a good situation based on the stance you're trying to take. Even if you're right, it's going to make you look worse, and less good can be done for taking the stance, is what I'm saying. Less good can be done for taking it. You not securing this $42 million, or whatever it is, whatever that is, for those 42 games that you're going to be docked, you need to consider all that money means. How much better can that money do in your hands, Kyrie, than it is going to be in the hands of those who are not going to pay you? Don't you think you can do a whole lot more with that money? Don't you think the people that you invest in, the people that you support, can use that sacrifice from you just like your teammates could? I mean, that's the type of thing you have to sell him on that. That's what you have to sell him on. Because he's ready to take the hit for the money so that he doesn't have to take the shot. But also in taking the hit, of course, in speaking circles, he loses friends, he loses opportunities, he has to hear bull crap. It's a lot of losses he's taking just so that he doesn't take the shot. And it's symbolic, man. You're an athlete. You put your life on the line every day. You put your life out there on the line for the things that you believe in, as I'm saying to you. So, this is a weird statement, but self-sacrifice is honorable in this case. Not to say that you should sacrifice yourself or put your health at risk at all, but if anything, what we're representing and what we're talking about is not putting your health at risk. What we're representing and what we're talking about is making an unselfish decision to not weaponize yourself against others if you are to be inclined to believe in what it is that we're actually talking about, which is the vaccine for COVID-19. In a vacuum, you're a hero for taking the shot. For the literal stance of what it means to sacrifice your own belief for the notion that you could weaponize yourself against others, that's a win, bro. Your fears get overcame for the notion that this can be good for others. That's good, right? Follow me here. And then you take that money that you otherwise would have lost for the games that you otherwise would not play, for the stance that you otherwise would like to take, and you put that money somewhere where it can do some good. As I'm sure he would be doing anyway, but you make the intent to do so in this case so that you can have the peace of mind of being able to say, I stood for what I believed in, but I didn't drag my brothers in the process to do so. It's a win-win-win in my mind. You play ball, you take the shot, make everybody happy, and you take the stance you need to take by accepting the loss either way. Because if it's really just about being scared, about not taking a shot, then we need to sit down on the couch and figure out what other things are we neglecting in the midst of trying to protect our lives. What are we missing? Because there are many different things that we miss every day in risking our lives. So if the idea is to protect yourself from all risk of life that could potentially be fatal, we need to start sitting down and figure out what we're neglecting in life. You know, how can we further this statement? Don't let it stop at the vaccine, buddy. Let's change our eating. Let's change how we drive. Let's do everything. If we're gonna protect ourselves, let's go all the way. And see, that's my thing about people who want to take this stance. I understand that there are a lot of different minds out there with a lot of different reasoning, but I think some people, they just want to be contrarians. They ain't really thought this out. They just see a herd of people going one way, so they feel like it's smart for them to go the other way just because that's the formula they apply to their lives. That doesn't mean what they're doing makes any sense or should be followed at all. I don't know that Kyrie's doing that, but I don't know what he's not. Especially given the circumstances and the information available to someone in his position. He has the team that can get him everything he needs to know that what he's taking is safe for him. You see what I'm saying? Now, I go to my local CVS, I take a shot. It's a shot in the dark. If it's an injection that kills me, so be it. If it's an injection that saves me, so be it. I'm a gumshoe. I'm on the bottom. Kyrie ain't like that. Kyrie got millions of doctors, millions of dollars worth of lawyers, and millions of dollars worth of doctors and people in his corner that he can call, that he can get all the best information, find out what each and every chemical is in that thing, find out where it's being shipped to, where it's coming from. He can get all that information sent to him. So the notion that he believes this is not safe, that information is probably not the information that's being fed to him. Because if it were, it would be a hell of a lot more athletes not taking it, including some of the ones that we know have taken it. If the information was bad, Kyrie ain't the only athlete that cares about his body. Other guys wouldn't have taken it either. So I don't believe Kyrie's gotten any information. I don't believe. My speculating mind tells me that the tea leaves don't say that he's received any information that would make it so that he feels he shouldn't take this shot in terms of his own mortal life. He just believes that. No different than I believe in God. I believe. God never came in the flesh and said, hey, I'm here. No, that's faith. But if you're putting faith into something like this, And you're neglecting what the basis of what it is that we're talking about, which is the COVID aspect of it and weaponizing your body against others aspect of it. And you're solely thinking about the freedoms you have to not be annihilated by your enemy in your mind, which is, I'm guessing, whoever would give him the virus and give us the virus. I guess they want to kill us in his mind. If that's what it is, speculation, of course. Then this is a situation where guys like KD, and I say this, I move away from Kyrie, because if he's just going to believe what he's going to believe in, and this is just a thing that he's going to believe in, you can't die on his heel. You can support that man and not throw yourself under the bus in doing so. And that's what KD is starting to come around to realize. Call me naive implies all of that. Like, I can follow this man, but how far? Because he's jumping off a goddamn cliff. I don't really want to die today. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how I would feel if I'm Kyrie. If I'm KD. He is falling off a cliff for reasons that matter to him. Them reasons aren't the reasons I have in my life for what it is that I do. I want to play basketball. And I want to do it at the highest level. And I want people to say I'm better than this guy, and I want to be better than that guy. I'm not interested in making the stance that Kyrie makes. He's my brother. And I want to follow him. But not if it means I got to fly off the dang cliff. Call me naive, but I've been following this guy, and I'm hoping he'll see that. I've been supporting this guy to the detriment of my own reputation, because people looking at me nuts for not allowing him to trade this man when this clearly looked like a bad situation. But call me naive. This is my brother. I think he's going to come around in the end. See, that's the problem with following enigmatic individuals. They don't equate supporting you to doing things that they don't believe in. That's the mistake of aligning yourself with somebody like that. He thinks that he's right, and that if you follow him, you're right for doing so. Not just in this case, but in any case. This is just how folks like this are. They have their convictions. And because they have their convictions, they're not going to fall away from those convictions for the sake of your friendship, because they feel like they're being responsible to you as your friend by letting you in on what it is that they know. You shouldn't be taking the vax either. It's going to do whatever it's going to do. In their mind, they're being friendly to you. You got to understand, Kyrie thinks whatever he thinks about this thing. And for the sake of extreme speculation, he probably thinks this thing is going to hurt him or kill him or keep him from doing something that he wants to be able to do in life. That's worth more than what the money is about in his mind, I'd imagine. But at the end of the day, guys are basketball players. You came there to play basketball. And as everyone said, and as I've said as well, there are consequences for these decisions that you make. You can make them. Hey, man, make your decision. But them consequences are going to be heavy. You're going to be docked the money that you would otherwise be making. You will be docked the value. You will not be treated as somebody who's reliable. And you will be shopped. And you hiding behind Kevin Durant and his leverage so that you can take this stance that hurts KD's chances of winning a championship and having a very, very, very good prime level season, along with his brother James Harden, prime level season where they're trying to go after a championship, particularly James first. You already got one, Kyrie. KD got two. What about James? Why are you leaving James out there like that, bro? Why are you allowing your decision to not be forthcoming with information to the public? Because that's really all I can confirm. Why are you letting that decision to affect his start of his season? And see, that's where it comes down to. It's not just Kyrie Irving and KD. It's not just Kyrie Irving and KD and James Harden. It's Kyrie Irving, KD, James Harden, and the rest of the Nets team, organization, coaches, everybody. They're all being dragged along by Kyrie's demand to not be traded, or otherwise would be willing to retire anywhere he gets traded to. That's just bad. I would not feel good about having him on contract. But see, as we knew when he got to Boston, as we knew when he left Boston, when you sign up to get Kyrie Irving, you're going to deal with his nature. He's going to be a guy that stands alone. He's going to take stances that make all of us feel differently about those stances. And he's going to do it unapologetically, no matter who gets affected by it, because in his mind, it's the right way to go. In his mind. I can't follow his mind. You see what I'm saying? If I'm KD, I can't follow his mind. He ain't about basketball like that. He loves to reference Kobe Bryant. He loves him. But Kobe would have took that shot whether it was going to kill him or not. Do you see what I'm saying? That's the point. It's not about whether or not Kyrie has a legitimate point. It's about whether or not he's willing to make the sacrifice anyway. And maybe it's not smart. If you think about the worst case scenarios for his concerns, that ain't worth it to him. So he has to accept the consequences that come with that and not stranglehold people because of it. And that's where he's wrong. That's where he's simply just wrong. This is when bad energy comes into play. That's when it becomes a situation where I'm like, all right, I feel like you're not being as friendly to the teams, to your teammates as they are in regards to supporting you here. That's where that comes into play for me. So, yeah, man. Trade Kyrie Irving if you can. I don't think you'll be able to. Because if I'm the Rockets, I have no interest in bringing him in. You know, I'm trying to get rid of John Wall's contract. John Wall's put a trade request in. I'm trying to free up space so that I can go forward with the youth movement. You got one of the youngest teams ever assembled. Also one of the most talented teams ever assembled, in my opinion. They don't need Kyrie Irving. He's a redundant piece. He just gets in the way just like John Wall is. You know, help. They don't need him. I look at Philadelphia. I would take him if it can get me rid of Ben Simmons. Of course I'll take him. But if you're the Nets, are you trying to get rid of one problem and bring in another one? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't. Ben Simmons has a lot of work to do on his personal self. Bringing him to a situation and asking him to win right now? Yeah, maybe that's the situation he just came out of. I don't want to be stupid. He plays for contenders, Philly. But have they won anything? Is he trying to tear out of there? Yeah. I'm not bringing him to us. We have championship aspirations. There's only one team in the league that can beat the Nets, and it's the Lakers. So they need to be very careful about whatever they do next. Because otherwise, they'll put themselves in a bad situation. Now, this is what I do see, though. Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson, I would not tell you that he gives me Kyrie Irving insurance. I don't necessarily feel that way. But I will force myself to believe that if it means Kyrie Irving has to go for a piece that I can't bring back that is of Kyrie Irving's caliber. I will make that trade if I have to because of Cam Johnson. He's that good. He's a bucket getter, a repeated bucket getter. A lot of energy. He will score. So Kyrie, and he plays Kyrie's position. So if Kyrie's going to put himself out there to continue to be in this space and ultimately decide not to take the backs, if I can get a good trade for Kyrie Irving, I'm sending him somewhere. And KD's concern about that, most of the time I'd say we're going to yield to what KD wants. But this is one of them situations where you pull the hurt player off the floor. I look at it like that. KD wants to run around injured. Kyrie is that injury. We got to get KD off the floor. Otherwise, he's going to further injure that leg. Now, he wants what he wants. But we know what's best for him because we're monitoring his body from a scientific standpoint. We're monitoring his situation from a statistical standpoint, and we can tell you he's heading in the wrong direction. I'm trading Kyrie anyway. We're going to get that injury out of here. We're going to sit KD until the health permits him to get out there. And as long as Kyrie's on this floor, that injury is apparent. Because KD going to hurt himself, let people throw all kinds of eggs and tomato in his face so that he can support this man who is not supporting him. That's what's happening here. And call him naive, because that's exactly what he looks like by doing so. My name is BDF44. That's pretty much what I got. I want to know what James Harden thinks. That's what I want to know. I want to know what James Harden thinks. I want to know if James Harden is on board with Kyrie Irving in such a way that would make this even further a thing. Or is James Harden kind of on the sideline saying, man, I don't really need to work. I don't need to play with Kyrie, dude. I just want to win a championship. I don't care who it is. And if that's the case, I'm having a conversation with KD if I'm James Harden. I like Kyrie. I do. It's our guy. If he's ready to play 82, we're ready to win. But we can't sacrifice this year for him. I'm not sacrificing this year for him. I haven't signed my extension. If they don't trade this man, they gonna need to trade me. Because I'm James Harden. I can't wait for Kyrie to come around. I don't have a championship. I can't wait. I'm from LA, bro. I'm not from Brooklyn. I'm not from New York. I'm not from DC. I'm not from this area. I ain't got nothing going on over here like that. I only came here for a championship. If y'all can't give me that, I can go elsewhere and do the same thing. I'm gonna bring the contender with me. I'm James damn Harden. I'm a contender. We can go to Orlando. We're gonna be in right here. So, what's it gonna be, KD? Are you gonna side with this dude who's strangleholding all of us and probably keeping us from your third ring? Or are you gonna slide with me, the better player, the one who's ready to go? Let's get us a real third star and let's get out here and go fight for this thing. Because this little brittle dude who don't want to do nothing, don't want to take the shot, he's the least important player of us anyway. That's the elephant in the room. We can do this without him. But not if he's sitting healthy and we don't have his representative value on the floor to help us win. Can't do that. Just like Philadelphia can't win with Ben Simmons sitting down. They can't win with Kyrie Irving sitting down half the season, half the playoffs, home games, all the playoff home games. And see, that's when it really becomes a problem. Okay, regular season, whatever. When you get to the playoffs and this man ain't took that shot, and they're running out there with no Kyrie Irving against real full-blooded teams that are built to beat them, all they're going to do is trade Kyrie after that. When they get knocked out of the second round, then they're going to trade Kyrie. And all they're going to say is, why didn't we do this last year when the value was higher? KD, you are naive. Let that dude go. Because he going to drag you along as long as this takes. And he ain't going to feel bad about it because he think he's doing you a favor. In his mind, it appears to make sense. In my mind, it appears bullcrap. My name is BDO44. Thank you for watching.